This morning, we start with two of the House Democrats who will have the power to investigate the president, Gerald Nadler, the incoming chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Elijah Cummings, who will chair the Oversight Committee. And Congressman Cummings, let me begin with you this morning. You just heard the president right there. He said that if Democrats investigate, it's going to be a warlike posture. Are you ready to go to war?
I'm not going to war with anyone. What I am going to do is do what the American people said they wanted us to do through this election. Even in Trump country, they basically are saying that we want transparency, we want honesty, and we want integrity. But they want something else, George. They want accountability with regard to this president. That's exactly what I'm going to do if I'm blessed to have that opportunity. And this is what the Constitution requires of us. And so we're going to do our part. But George, I'm not going to be handing out subpoenas like somebody's handing out candy on Halloween. I take this as a lawyer and as an officer of the court. I take subpoenas very seriously, and I plan to, if I have to use them, they will be used in a methodical way, and it must be in the public interest. And so, but we got a lot to do. So I'm laser focused on those issues that even President Trump says that he wants to work on, such as prescription drug prices, the high price of prescription drugs, such as making sure that we protect people with regard to pre-existing conditions. And I must admit that he just came late in saying that, but you know, if he wants to do that, that's fine. But we've got a lot of work to do, and voting rights. We have got to deal with things like voting rights. So we've got a lot on our plate. We don't have time. I'm not worried about the threats. Again, I want to do what the American people sent us to Washington to do.
So you're saying you can investigate and work on policy at the same time. What are your top oversight priorities?
George, I really want to look at some things that affect people on a day-to-day basis, such as I said, drug prices and healthcare issues. But I also want to look at things like the census. We're having some problems right now with regard to the Trump administration wanting to put in a citizenship question, which we know will discourage people from participating in the census. Very important. That's right around the corner. Again, we've got to look at things like voter suppression. We cannot have a country where it becomes normal to do everything in folks' power to stop people from voting. There's no reason why in the United States of America, people should be standing in line for 4 and 5 hours and basically being pushed away from the polls. We've got to turn that around.
When you're in the minority, as a Democrat over the last couple of years, you've written a lot of letters talking about the need for oversight of the president, whether he's in violation of the Emoluments Clause, other cabinet officials. Are those on the table as well?
Definitely. We definitely want to look at the Emolument Clause possible violations. I think there are probably many of them. We want to look at things like the FBI building fiasco, where the president injected himself into that debate as to where it would be located, we think, for his benefit. We got to figure out, when is he acting on behalf of the American people in a lot of his decisions, or is he acting on his own behalf? But there's something else that we've got to do. The president has 2 years left in his term. He spent almost his entire campaign talking about our infrastructure. We have to sit down. He says he claims he wants to work with us. We need to sit down and address the issue of infrastructure. We've got bridges and roads that need to be repaired, and we got to do that, and we can do that.
Your colleague Adam Schiff said he also wants to look into the idea of Amazon, where the president tried to retaliate against Amazon because Jeff Bezos, the owner, owns the Washington Post, and involving the Postal Service there. Also, whether he interfered in the merger, in the Time Warner merger, as a way to retaliate against CNN. Is that on the table?
Yeah, we may want to look into that. Keep in mind that the president has constantly been messing with our postal system. I don't know. It seems as if he wants to privatize it. And we have legislation right now, George, that will cure that. We just got to put it on the floor. With the Democrats in control, we can get that postal bill on the floor and save our postal system. And those are the kind of things that I want to do. Not only I'm going to look at Trump, President Trump, but more importantly, I'm going to try to work with our Republican friends to do things for the American people. They're tired of us not doing things.
On that question of working with Republicans, are you willing to go back to the days where the subpoena power on the Oversight Committee and other committees was a shared responsibility with the minority?
I'm going to share it to a certain degree. I see subpoenas as really a method of last resort. As a lawyer, I know the power of a subpoena. Once you send somebody a subpoena, they've got to get a lawyer, and it's a lot there. So what I'm going to try, I'm hoping that we'll have consultation with the Republicans where we can agree. But if it comes down to me believing something is in the public interest, I want to do it deliberatively, but I'm going to do what I think is best. And I'm going to do what the Constitution demands that we do. And I would ask that the president not try to stand in our way of doing our job as members of the Congress.
What are you going to do if the administration and the White House refuse to answer and comply with your subpoenas?
We will cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm not going to deal with that hypothetical because I'm more optimistic than that. But I promise you, we will deal with that when we get to it.
Final question. Nancy Pelosi, Democratic leader, wants to run for Speaker. Does she have your vote?
She's got my vote. Nancy Pelosi has been battle-tested. I have watched her. I've said it many times. She's a phenomenal speaker. And so and now that we have all of these women coming into the Congress, it would be a damn shame that you then replaced this fearless leader with a man. It's her time. And again, she's battle-tested, and I'm looking forward to working with her as my speaker. And I'm going to vote for her and encourage all my colleagues to vote for her.
Congressman Cummings, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.